Bruce and the Cincinnati Reds have won the first two games of this weekend series via the long ball. And this afternoon, the Reds will go after a three-game sweep of the San Diego Padres. It's Reds baseball on the home of the Reds, Fox Sports Ohio. And a pleasant good afternoon to you, everyone. Alongside Chris Welsh, I'm Jim Day. It's been since May since this Reds team has won 4 consecutive games. They're riding that wave right now, playing some pretty good baseball, Chris.
Well, they are playing good baseball. It's nice to have a little winning streak going on. It's nice to be able to combine pitching and hitting in the same game or in the same streak. And that's really what the Reds have been looking for all year long. Finally, 4 in a row. It's been a long time since that happened. They got the whipping sticks out last night, though.
They
7
certainly
home
did.
runs overall, 5 of them off the starter. And, there was a starter last night in Tim Stauffer. He's just no ordinary guy. He was the opening day starter for the San Diego Padres. So they had some good pitches last night. And Jim, tell us all about it as we break it down.
Well, Votto hit 1, Cairo hit 2, Hannigan hit 2, Frazier, Bruce, Hannigan with that 3-run shot. Last night, all 13 runs scored via the home run. Chris, they only left 1 on base. 39% of the runs scored via the home run. That's the second highest in National League. And at home, 84 long ones and 54 on the road. And Jay Bruce, he's been hot, career high or a season matching high, 25 home runs, and he hit another one last night.
Well, he's awfully hot right now. Seeing the ball big is Jay Bruce. He had been hitting right behind Joey Votto in the lineup. With a lefty on the mound today, Brandon Phillips back in the lineup. He'll be in the number 4 spot. Jay Bruce gets moved down a notch, but they've handled left-handers pretty well all year long.
It's a dream day for Chris Welsh. It's lefty versus lefty, including the D-Train going to the hill, seeking his first victory in a Reds uni.
Transmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
Dontrelle Willis goes to the hill, Chris. Last time out, his best outing of the season.
Yeah, and oddly enough, Jimmy got stuck with a loss in that outing. That was against the Colorado Rockies. He went with 10 strikeout performance, ended up with a 3-2 loss despite even driving in a run with a triple. 112 pitches for Dontrelle Willis. It seems to me that he uses fastball much more in his last outing than his previous outings, where he threw a lot of breaking balls. He had everything working last time. Let's hope that the Reds can combine him with a good pitching outing and get lots of runs like they did last night.
Let's see if the Reds have saved some runs in the tank. It's Dontrelle looking for the W. Reds looking for the sweep. Can they get it? We'll find out together on Fox Sports Ohio.
Reds Baseball is brought to you by State Farm. For auto, home, life, and banking, get to a better state. By your local Ford dealer. Ford, drive one. By the Regional Tourism Network. Book your trip at CincinnatiUSA.com. And by Skyline Chili. Whenever you're feeling good and hungry, it's Skyline time.
Reds are taking the field behind Dontrelle Willis. And here's the lineup the D-Train will face today. Cameron Maben will lead off today. Jason Bartlett in the 2-hole. Hudson Blanks and Cunningham in the middle. Logan Forsythe, the rookie. James Darnell, another rookie, gets the start in left field. Rob Johnson hanging the signs for lefty Wade LeBlanc. And Chris Welsh, Dontrelle Willis, facing a Padres team who is not good against right-handed pitchers, but against left-handed pitchers, much better.
Yeah, they're a little better against left-handers, there's no doubt, but really doesn't matter overall what their body of work is. This is a team that has a shuffling lineup. We've seen 3 different lineups from Buddy Black in this 3-game series, and we're going to see a different one today. Dontrelle Willis looking to break into that win column. 0-2 in his 6 starts, despite having 5 quality starts. And if the D-Train continues to pitch the way he has so far, he will definitely get some W's. Maybe today is the day.
Let's hope so. The 29-year-old set to go as Maben steps in. First pitch grounded right to Brandon Phillips, who's back in the lineup today. 1 pitch, 1 out. Here's your 4 defensive lineup for the Reds. As mentioned, Brandon Phillips back in there. An outfield of Sapelt, Stubbs, and Bruce around the infield. Cairo back at third base today. Renteria, Phillips, Votto, and Ramon Hernandez and Dontrelle Willis, your battery. And Brandon Phillips, he missed 4 games with that left elbow contusion. Pinch ran once Friday night. Got clearance yesterday to play. As we talked about last night, Dusty Baker's philosophy always to give a guy an extra day. He's back in there and he's batting cleanup. Jason Bartlett, 2-out count to him. Bartlett 252, 2 home runs, 32 RBIs. Bartlett 1 for 3 last night, struck out. Ground ball foul. Last time out, as we talked about, Willis, 10 strikeouts. That's the most by a Reds pitcher this year.
That's really hard to believe, too, because if you just evaluate the stuff of Dontrelle Willis compared to the pitchers that the Reds have had here, Johnny Cueto, Edinson Volquez dialing it up there at 97. You'd think that those guys would have games in which they strike out, double digits, no problem. But this year it seems like this pitching staff has traded in the strikeout for the ground ball, and the same can be said for Dontrelle Willis. He gets ground balls at a rate that would put him in the top 5 in the league if he had enough innings to qualify.
Dusty Baker said the last time out was the closest he's seen to the old Dontrelle Willis. And he talked about his velocity. His velocity last time out, he was hitting 90, 91, whereas previous to that it was a few mile per hour lower than that.
I think because he used his fastball more, it's gotten better for him.
Shot to the right side, and that will find the right field. Bartlett on.
Pretty good bit of hitting right here by Jason Bartlett. We've seen him swing the bat this way throughout the entire season, or the entire series, that is, hitting the ball the other way, kind of waiting on a breaking ball right there, and even though it was a good pitch, he finds a hole.
So we'll see how much Dontrelle will hold on Jason Bartlett. 22 stolen bases on the season. These first 3 guys in the order will run. Maben, 30 stolen bases. Bartlett, 22. And Hudson, who steps in now with 16. And a throw over. So he's worried about him right away. Willis has 8 innings pitched last time out. First time he's done it since 2007 in the big leagues. He allowed that 2-run home run to Troy Tulowitzki in the 4th. And an RBI single in the 5th. The only damage done. Got no run support. Or at least not enough. A 3-2 loss. Walked only 1 batter last time out. 0-1 pitch. Dan Iasonia behind the plate. What you got, Chris?
Well, he's a 9-year veteran. His number is 62.57. That's the percentage of strikes that Dan calls, and that's right in the mid-range of umpires. Lives down in Georgia, graduated from University of Connecticut with an English degree.
Foul back.
And his favorite charity, Dan Iasonia, it's an interesting one. It's called Bucks for the Burn Camp. And it's a project started by the Chicago Fire Department. He works very closely with them to help children that have been burned in fires and raises a lot of money. And Dan's a good guy.
Good for him. It's good stuff. Dale Scott, your first base umpire. Jerry Meals at second. C.B. Buckner at third. 1-2 the count to Orlando Hudson. And it stays 1-2. Nice catch by a fan. You ever bring your glove to a game, Chris?
Always. As a kid, brought it all the time. How about you?
I never did. Always went for the bare hand.
Actually, there were times as a broadcaster I'd bring my glove. Back in the old stadium, we'd get some balls that were hit up in that booth. The Reds went to visit old Tiger Stadium where the press box was only about, it seemed like about 40 feet from home plate. Those balls would whistle up there like rockets. Kept score with a pencil in my one hand and a glove on in the other. Somebody had to protect George Grant.
1-2 pitch. Foul back again. So Hudson and Willis in a battle here. We are just underway at Great American Ballpark. Jim Day with Chris Welch. Jeff Pecoro reporting today. 1 on, 1 out for Dontrell Willis. Lefty brings it. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, says Dale Scott. And the first strikeout of the game for Dontrell Willis.
Nice pitch right there. Really good, patient way to go about his business. He kept going after Orlando Hudson after he got ahead of him with that breaking ball. Finally had the check swing on him. We get a good look at that check swing with our Exmo camera, brought to you by Performance Honda. Did he go? Absolutely right. Dale Scott, the first base umpire, called it right. By the way, Dale's celebrating his birthday today. 52 years. Dale Scott's been around 25 years in the major leagues.
Happy birthday, Dale Scott. Kyle Blanks, the only one to dent the scoreboard last night. There was a solo home run off of Homer Bailey, the only run he gave up. Part of 8 home runs combined by these two teams. 7 of them off the bat of the Redlegs. 1-0 pitch. Outside.
Well, if that ball had actually hit the scoreboard, it would have definitely dented it, because it was an absolute rocket.
The height it left the bat at, it nearly stayed at that height the whole route to left center field. Because Blanks is about as tall as that wall out there. I'm exaggerating a little bit. But you're right, that was a rocket. Foul back, 2-1 the count.
You know, early indications right now, Jim, it doesn't look like Dontrell has the same velocity on his fastball in this ball game that he had in his last game. But the comment I would make on that is that his fastball seemed to get better as the game went on during his last outing against the Rockies. It's always the pitcher's, experience in the first inning to figure out what you've got working, what's not working, and go with what you have.
2-1 pitch inside. Trying to avoid the first inning bugaboo. Red starters allowed 77 first inning runs this year. 6th most in the bigs. There's a drive to left field. Dave Zappelt's got a beat on it. And the Padres strand 1. Reds coming to bat. And they'll do so in this order. Dave Zappelt leading off. Edgar Renteria back in there at shortstop. Middle part, Votto. Phillips making a return after 4 games out of the starting lineup. Jay Bruce is hot. Drew Stubbs. Miguel Cairo, his first multi-home run game of his career last night. And Ramon Hernandez hanging the sign for Dontrell Willis. On the mound, a 27-year-old southpaw, Wade LeBlanc.
I'll tell you what, the way that Will LeBlanc pitched against the Reds last year, we thought he would be on his way to a Cy Young Award. He shut out the Reds in 6 innings over 3 hits, and that was really it for him. This year when he came to camp, he was beat out of a rotation spot by Dustin Mosley, a former farmhand of the Reds. When Mosley got injured, it's been kind of an up and down season for LeBlanc.
Spelled ground ball to short. Bartlett an easy play and 1 out. Here's your Ford defensive lineup for the Padres. Darnell, the rookie in left field. Maben in center. Aaron Cunningham in right. Around the infield, Forsythe, Bartlett, Orlando Hudson, and Kyle Blanks. Rob Johnson hanging the signs for Wade LeBlanc. So Edgar Renteria, 244 hitter overall. But since the All-Star break, 282, 13 home runs. Fakes the bunt. Fakes it again. 2-0. LeBlanc making his first appearance against the Reds this season. Chris, you talked about that one career start where he was outstanding. 6 innings, no runs.
Well, he's not a hard thrower. He's a guy that really has to hit his spots. And last year when he pitched against the Reds, he picked off a couple of runners, 7 overall last year. But it's kind of an interesting year for LeBlanc because they would call him up, have him start, and then send him back down the next day. They did that about 4 or 5 times. And this is only the second time this year, or first time this year, that LeBlanc has been able to pitch back-to-back games in the big leagues. Last time he started was against the Mets when the Padres were at Citi Field. Pitched a pretty good ball game, 6 innings of 2-run baseball, but the Mets didn't. He ended up with a no decision as the Padres did not give him much in the way of run support. So watch yourself down there, Edgar.
Walks Renteria on 4 straight pitches. Joey Votto takes a hack at the first pitch. Votto 2 for 3 last night. Continues to lead the league in on-base percentage and average with runners in scoring position. A 1 pitch. 427 on base percentage. And with runners in scoring position, hitting an astronomical 424. He's walked 83 times. 1-1 pitch. Fouled back. Last night, Chris, he got it started. Home run number 19.
Well, they got a changeup down and in from Tim Stauffer. Stauffer knew it right away. One of the rare home runs that we have seen Joey Votto hit to right field. He usually likes to hit that ball the other way, and that's one reason why he's such a good hitter against lefties. But last night, dropped the bat head and got the Reds scoring going.
LeBlanc ahead 1-2.
Well, he uses the entire field for home runs. Joey Votto does. 13 of his 19 have come to either left field or center field.
He's surprised only 3 have been to left field.
Well, I think the center field, I'm not really sure how they break that down, to be honest with you, but I've seen a lot of his home runs go to left center field, and they may be calling those center field shots.
An indication of how good a hitter he is. Lefty on lefty matchup today. He leads the National League with a 361 average versus left-handed pitchers.
Well, I think for Joey, it's all about attitude, and he has talked to me about that from time to time, saying, you know, he's adopted the attitude from when he was a younger player, that he would never be afraid to hit a left-hander's breaking ball. That's why he waits so long. And you see against lefties, Joey Votto will foul off a lot of pitches over the left, over the third base dugout into the left field stands because he's waiting for something and fouling off the good ones.
LeBlanc has gone full, and he walked him. So back-to-back walks. And the Reds have 2 on with 1 out. And here's Brandon Phillips. Hasn't started the last 4 games. We'll see how that elbow is treating him. He tweeted this morning, "My elbow is sounding like a bowl of Rice Krispies when you pour milk on it." I don't think that's good.
Well, snap, crackle, and maybe he's got a little pop in his bat.
Nice, Chris Welsh. That was on the fly. First pitch swinging. Pops it up to the right side. And that is tough luck right there. Because that ball fell in, and Votto was in no man's land because he had to go halfway whether or not that ball was going to fall in.
Well, Votto's thinking about tagging up right here if Orlando Hudson, the second baseman, catches it. As it turns out, it drops in the middle of all 3 infielders. And Votto's an easy out at second on the fielder's choice.
I assumed he would go halfway. You're right. He was there to tag up.
Yeah, exactly. And because if Orlando Hudson, the second baseman, catches that ball and he runs away from, the catch towards the tarp, Votto may try to pick his pocket and see if he can make it to second base. I'm not so sure he makes it to second even if he does go halfway. That's a play that you have to assume that someone was going to catch. It looked like they all just got a little scared as he got towards the ball.
But the good news is Renteria reaches third. First and third, 2 outs, and Jay Bruce stepping in. On the homestand, 10 for 21. 4 home runs, 12 RBIs. Home run number 25 last night. And we've seen many times when Jay Bruce is hot, the Reds are hot. He also scored 3 runs last night. He's homered in 3 of his past 4 games. He's got 2 sitting out there right now. Lefty brings it. Foul back. So LeBlanc ahead 1-2. Bruce also riding a 4-game hit streak. One-two pitch. Down the right field line, but it will reach the seats. So we'll try 1-2 again. Renteria takes his lead from third. Phillips from first. Worrying a ton about Brandon Phillips over at first base. 7 stolen bases on the season. Swing and a miss. And LeBlanc gets out of it. Reds leave 2. We're scoreless at GABP. Elk and Elk, serious lawyers for serious injuries. Jay Bruce, Chris, numbers are contrasting when he follows Votto in the lineup and when he's not following.
Well, you know, they're best of buddies on and off the field, and it just goes to stand to reason, I guess, when Jay Bruce follows Joey Votto in the lineup, that he hits so much better.
Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. There's Dusty Baker splitting those lefties up today, facing a left-handed pitcher.
Of course, you also get Brandon Phillips back in the lineup, too, who is either number 2 in the lineup or number 4, depending on what the lineup looks like on a day-to-day basis. But primarily, Brandon last year and this year has been the cleanup hitter. And most managers do like to split them up, so you don't fall prey to a left-handed reliever coming in late in the ballgame.
Aaron Cunningham leading off the inning. Ground ball to Renteria. 1 out.
Another ground ball by Dontrell Willis. Man, he keeps the ball down, and, you know, as long as you keep that downward plane, he sinks his fastball, his breaking ball is nice downward action. You know, he just tries to entice those hitters to hit the top half of the baseball. So that Reds infield ought to be pretty busy today, like they usually are when Willis is on the mound. It's the ratio that we're talking about, the number of ground balls that he gives up versus fly balls. So the infielders drink an extra cup of coffee before Willis pitches.
Logan Forsythe in. 46 games, 198 average for the rookie. Is yet to homer. Drive to center field. It will fall for a single. So second hit of the game for the Padres. Get ready for Reds action 30 minutes before every game with the Emmy Award winning Reds live on Fox Sports Ohio. Get ready for the game with exclusive interviews, features, and tech talk featuring Christopher Welsh. That's Reds Live, presented by Ray St. Clair Roofing. We had Dontrell on there today talking about the pitch repertoire.
Did a whole series with Dontrell. That first one, of course, is the repertoire of his pitches, but, you know, he explains his delivery, how he changed his delivery from that big, high-kicking, awkward, back-bending style that he had down as a Florida Marlin to where he is right now. Gave a lot of credit to Ted Power and Brian Price and his adjustment. You know, Dontrell showed up about 30 days before spring training began down in Goodyear to work with Brian Price. He was over there 3-4 days a week, and he realized that he had to change something. Dontrell did. And Brian Price is kind of a real quiet demeanor in a way that he communicates, and he kind of encourages a pitcher to do it, but he doesn't demand it. And Dontrell just adapted to that style, and he's, like Dusty Baker said, he's a lot closer to what he used to be back when he was a Florida Marlin than he has been in recent years. But I mean, he was with 3 different organizations last year. Started out the season with the Tigers, ended up with the Diamondbacks. Not much success in either place, and eventually ended up in the minor leagues with the San Francisco Giants.
Arizona just let him go, outrighted him. Actually ended the season in the Giants organization in the minors. Pitched for 4 teams, 3 different organizations. Accepted the assignment, a non-roster invitee to spring training by the Reds, and as you said, went early, worked with Brian Price, nearly made the club out of spring training, and gladly accepted his role at Louisville.
Yeah, you know, he almost was on the ball club, and then the last couple of outings that Dontrell pitched down in Goodyear, he just got raked. And at that point, they decided, let's let him go down there and work out those kinks in Louisville. And here he is, pitching start number 7.
He's gone full to rookie James Darnell, the runner at first base. I talked to him a few weeks back, and I said, a lot of guys in your position, you've made a lot of money. I'm assuming you've taken care of your money. 3-2 pitches popped up. Phillips has a beat on it, and there are 2 outs. I asked him, a lot of guys in your position that are outrighted last year, you got to go down to the minor leagues and ride the buses, probably got enough money. Even though he's only 29 years old, a lot of guys would have walked away. He didn't want to walk away.
Well, at 29 years old, he's got such a competitive spirit left in him. I mean, what's he going to do? I mean, yeah, he's got a lot of money, but I mean, ball players don't play baseball for the money. I mean, when you're coming up and you're 8, 10, 12, 14 years old, you're not playing because someday you're going to be a millionaire. You play because you love it, and it's in their blood. And I think that is Shows it right there with Dontrell.
Rob Johnson. Willis makes the play. And the Pods leave another. But score none. We're scoreless on Fox Sports Ohio. Hall of Fame baseball writer Hal McCoy. Plus, Hal shares his story about Hall of Famer Yogi Berra, who's the subject of Boys in the Hall tonight at 6:30 right here on Fox Sports Ohio. It's only on foxsportsohio.com. It's presented by 1-800-SAFE-AUTO and safeauto.com. Drew Stubbs leads off to start the second for the Reds. Working against lefty Wade LeBlanc. Stubbs 2 for 4 last night, a double, scored twice. And he's hit safely in 6 of 7 games. Chris, he struck out a ton this year, but has 80 runs scored on the season. That's a lot.
Well, it is a lot. I mean, he's a guy that when he does get on base, he's able to get himself in scoring position. He goes first to third as well as anybody in the league, steals a lot of bases. And I guess it's as frustrating for Drew Stubbs as it is for the Reds fan that watches him play. That you say, here's this guy with all this talent. I mean, he's got this God-given speed that rarely anybody has. And if he could just get on base, and everybody's, all right, lay a button down more often, shorten your swing a little bit. And Stubbs is a guy that he's very thoughtful and he works very hard. And he's a guy that he realizes all that. I'm not so sure that he's a player that reads a lot of his press clippings, but he knows what his assignment is. And it's a tough thing sometimes to do.
Check swing. No. So LeBlanc has gone full. Fouled back. As you said, LeBlanc doesn't throw exceptionally hard and isn't accustomed to the big strikeout numbers. Although on Tuesday, he had 5 strikeouts and became only the second major league pitcher this season to strike out as many as 5 hitters in a game on called third strikes. Stubbs grounds to short, 1 out. So against the Mets, 5 strikeouts on called third strikes. The only other pitcher to do so was Vance Worley of the Phillies.
Man, that's tough to do. He was or his brother umpiring that night?
Might have been. Check out the umpire book. Is there a LeBlanc in there? And manager Bud Black is keeping the battery together because Rob Johnson called that game. And after that game, he credited Johnson with mixing things up back there. Here he goes to work against Miguel Cairo. Last night, 2 long ones. His first multi-home run game of his career. And his 7 home runs this season, a career high. .271 hitter overall. And after battling that oblique injury, Dusty Baker said he was having trouble throwing the ball from third base. Started the past few games at second base. In there at third today. The 1-2 pitch outside. Miguel Cairo, no matter where he plays, always got to be ready, and our Geico quote of the day.
That's something that I do. I'm always ready to play it. I always keep myself physically and mentally prepared to play the game. And, you know, it was nice to go out there and get another W.
Part of that 7 home run parade. It's a drive into center field and a diving catch by Cameron Maben to Rob Cairo. Pretty play.
Real nice play by Cameron Maben. He came a long way because he was shading. You see where he is out there, shading Miguel Cairo to right center field. Comes in and dives, and man, oh man, that's a nice catch. Long arms from Maben, long strides. He eats up a lot of real estate. But that's the kind of play when a player lands like that on his glove arm with his arm outstretched. You see a lot of shoulder injuries sustained that way. Torn rotator cuffs on the glove side, torn labrums, things like that. That you'd be surprised how many ball players out there who have done a lot of those type plays have sore glove arm shoulders rather than throwing arm shoulders.
Back in the day, those AstroTurf days, he would have a nice strawberry on his side right now.
Well, you know,
a rug burn.
You wouldn't see as many players dive for balls back then. And that's why I like grass so much.
Deep in the hole, Bartlett makes the play on Hernandez, and a 1-2-3 second for LeBlanc. Still scoreless. Magazine Mondays. Purchase a ticket in the Reach Magazine family section and a Kroger meal deal for only $15. It's regularly priced at $31.
Yeah, man.
For tickets for the Reach Magazine family section, visit reds.com/family or call 513-381-REDS today. getting down. At least she's trying to make him boogie a little bit. Sunday afternoon games, always a good day to bring the fam out.
Nice crowd out here today, too. Had a good crowd on Friday, a little better crowd on Saturday.
So pitcher versus, I'm sorry, Chris.
Well, I was just going to say the weather cooperating, Jim. We didn't have the weather forecast at the beginning of the game, but it looks like it's going to be okay.
Wade LeBlanc, the blue variety, and it finds some green. So the pitcher with a leadoff single here in the third. The third hit given up by Dontrell Willis.
That'd be Wade LeBlanc.
You are on fire today.
Yeah.
En fuego.
I'm awake, though.
I'm not quite yet.
We'll get you there.
At least the mouth is not caught up with the brain yet.
It's only 10 till 2. What do you expect?
That's still morning to Jeff Brantley.
It's still morning for you sometimes on the road. We don't see you until it's about time to go to the ballpark, except on those days we rustle you up early to play golf.
Which is often. Check swing by Cameron Maben. Maben grounded out in the first. Talked about the Padres being much better against left-handed pitchers. Against righties across the board, they are dead last in most categories. Against left-handed pitchers, .263 average. That's fourth in the National League. Sixth in on-base percentage. And eighth in slugging percentage. So much, much better against left-handed pitchers. Willis is behind 3-1 to Maben. And for whatever reason, the Padres have been good on series finales. They've won 7 consecutive series finale games.
It's that old getaway magic.
And they are ready to get away.
Well, they've been away for 10 days now. This is the last of a stop here that ended up bringing them from New York down to Cincinnati.
Let's face it, when you play in paradise, you want to get back to paradise.
Well, you do, and they started off on this road trip so well, and then they ended up running into a very hot Reds team in the first 2 games here. Buddy Black would love to see him get out of here with a win. Reds are trying to complete the sweep.
And a walk to Maben.
Dontrell really wanted that one. You could see it was a breaking ball that just missed off the outside. Body language looking in there to Dan Iasagna. Really close.
First walk of the game by Willis. So trouble brewing here in the third. Single to LeBlanc. A walk to Maben. 2 on, nobody out for Jason Bartlett. Bartlett singled in the first. Despite scoring only 1 run last night against the Reds, San Diego's 147 runs since the All-Star break ranks first in the National League and tied for 4th in the majors. Fly ball to right, and LeBlanc will not test Jay Bruce. 1 down. In steps Orlando Hudson. Strikeout victim in the first. So far, Willis's only strikeout of the afternoon. Two on, 1 out for the O-Dog. Dontrell seeking his first victory in a Red Legs uniform. Been the victim of blown saves 3 times. Now he's fallen behind 2-0 to Hudson.
I get the feeling that Dontrell senses he does not have the same fastball in this outing that he did the last time out against the Rockies. Throwing a lot more off-speed pitches, many more breaking balls, and just not being as aggressive with the fastball.
2-0 pitch in there. Two-one delivery. Outside. So Willis a pitch away from walking another man, and a bases loaded situation. One pitch up the middle. That's a base hit. They're going to hold LeBlanc at third. So now bases loaded, 1 out.
Well, the Reds catch a break right there just based on the fact that it's a pitcher running at second base. Will LeBlanc may be fast, but not a great base runner. Not a good secondary lead right there, and he's going to run on into third and immediately be held up by Glenn Hoffman, the third base coach. So a walk and a couple of hits in the inning, and Willis has the bases loaded, but still nobody in. And a guy that hit a home run last night and hit a sizzling line drive to Dave Chappelle the first time up is in the batter's box.
Kyle Blanks wearing number 88. 200 average with bases loaded in his career. Does have a grand slam. Willis falling behind again. 2-0.
He's beginning to pitch a little tentatively, very much like Will LeBlanc did in the first inning. This is a ballpark that you really can't afford to do that. You've got to come right after the hitters. It's tough to do with the bases loaded, but got to find a way to go after it.
Swing and a miss. Two and one the count to Kyle Blanks. In there. Big situation here. Bases loaded, 1 down. And a 2-2 count to Kyle Blanks. Lefty bringing it. Gets away from Hernandez, and the Padres get a gift run. Wild pitch is the call.
Well, it was the same pitch that Dontrell Willis threw on a 2-0 count. Slider, wanted to throw it down, and he got a check swing the first time. That one really never did look like a strike to Kyle Blanks, and gets away from Hernandez. That's one of those pitches that when it hits the dirt, it's got so much spin on it that a catcher, unless you get your whole body in front of it, there's no way you're going to be able to block it.
3-2 pitch. Ground ball to third. Knocked down by Cairo. His only play is to first, and they barely get Blanks. But another run scores, and the Padres have a 2-0 lead.
Pretty good play by Miguel Cairo right here. Short hop backhand. He comes over, drops the ball. But he ends up making something out of nothing right there and getting Blanks by just a hair at first. Played second base last night, third base today.
2 outs in the inning for Aaron Cunningham. Hudson still aboard at second base. Willis falling behind again.
Yeah, you know what, it seems to me that he's not really finishing his fastball. Every fastball that he throws has been up and away to right-handers, and when he makes the adjustment on the breaking ball, it's down and in. You know, I don't know whether he's not finding the right footing, whether he's not getting enough time over the rubber to load up.
That one fouled back.
But it's one of those things that a pitcher, if you're not in sync like that, you've got to be able to make the adjustment on the fly. This is when Brian Price can't afford to go out to the mound. I mean, Dontrelle Willis, it's got to be your own pitching coach right here.
Would it warrant a trip from your catcher?
It might. I think Willis has just got to work it out in his own brain. Just trying to find the rhythm of his delivery.
After falling behind 2-0, it's now 2-2. Hudson, pretty big lead at second base. 2 outs and the 2-2 pitch. Ball 3. Gets away from Hernandez, and Hudson skates on to third. Another wild pitch, so 2 wild pitches in the inning.
Well, this one doesn't really bounce far away from Ramon, but he can't find it. He looks down and thinks it may be on the other side of the hitter, and there it is in the left-handed batter's box.
Payoff pitch, and he walked him. So 2 walks in the inning, 2 wild pitches, and Brian Price at this point wants to talk it over.
Well, I think it's probably a time that Brian has either seen something that he's been working with on Dontrelle's delivery, or just trying to settle him down a little bit. Sometimes when you get in a situation like this, less is more for a pitcher. You know, maybe a little bit less movement with your head and your arms and your legs, and just kind of keep your head still, and that'll maybe help you bring everything together. Problem is that when you've got your adrenaline going and there's runners in scoring position, they've already scored a couple of runs on you, and you've got big league hitters at the plate, it's hard to experiment during that. I mean, you've got to have a lot of confidence in your pitches, so you can't worry about your mechanics.
So it's Willis versus Logan Forsythe, with Hudson at third base. Padres already with 2 across. Cunningham at first base. Dontrelle trying for damage control here in the third. Pitch. Foul back. So Willis ahead here 0-2. It's about to be a 30-pitch inning for Willis. Base hit to left field, and that'll bring in another, and the Padres with a 3-0 advantage.
Well, there's action in the Reds bullpen down there. I see somebody up and throwing. Looks like, at least not up and throwing, but yeah, Sam LeCure up and getting it going. Dusty Baker, I'm not so sure that he likes what he sees of Dontrelle so far today. Throwing a lot of breaking balls, not really trusting his fastball very much. I think that was the message that Brian Price gave him, is come on out here and be a little aggressive with the fastball.
So 3 runs across here in the third. A single by LeBlanc, a walk to Maben, a single to Hudson, a wild pitch in there scored a run. And there's another base hit. They're going to send the runner from third. Sapelt's throw to the plate, not in time. And a 4 spot on the board by the Padres on an RBI single by rookie James Darnell, his first of his major league career.
Well, Dontrell definitely being more aggressive with the fastball right there, but quite frankly, today it's not there. Last start he was throwing 90 to 92 miles an hour. Today it's 84 to 86. And that one was hittable. Ball hits the runner as he comes into the plate. He picks up a run batted in. And now Paul Lessard is going to go out and talk to Dontrell Willis. I mean, their concern is that there might be something physically wrong with him because his velocity drop off is significant.
Dontrell has battled a blister problem previous this season. Not sure if that is involved here.
Well, Lessard is holding his, kind of massaging his left arm right there, right around his elbow. They're going to make the call in the bullpen right now. Evidently, Willis had felt this probably when he was warming up before the game began. So a tough break for Dontrell and the Reds, but a 4 spot on the board for the Padres.
So Willis will leave with 2 outs in the third. And our skyline call to the bullpen as Sam LeCure, the righty, will come in. Talking it over as Dontrell Willis has to leave this game early. Trainer came out to look at him, and as you said, Chris, massaging that left forearm. And the numbers so far for Willis.
Yeah, well, you could really tell the way Dontrell was not finishing his fastball. Every fastball he threw was up and away. And, when you have a pain spot in your delivery, I'm not sure what's bothering Dontrell, but I can tell you as a former pitcher, if it feels like you're getting to a pain spot, your body automatically avoids it. So if it really hurt right upon him releasing the ball and trying to put something extra on that fastball, that's why he was so wild with his fastball. When he did reach back, there was nothing there. He was throwing his fastball 84, 85 miles an hour today. So obviously something wrong with him. Paul Lessard went out and was rubbing his elbow to kind of test for a pain spot, and they got him on out of there, and he'll ice it down and give way to Sam LeCure. Well, just as the Reds are on the verge of really getting a streak together, on a streak of real good pitching along the way, you have an injury to your starter, giving up 4 runs, and now you're already in the 3rd inning. You're going to your bullpen.
So Sam LeCure on, and the Reds, last 5 games, the Reds starters, 5 quality starts. So they were riding a good wave there. Over that time, the Red starters were 3-1 with a 1.78 ERA. But today, a hurting Dontrell Willis. 4 earned runs so far. Runner on first and third are his responsibility. And Sam LeCure trying to limit the damage here with 2 outs in the inning. The 9th batter of the inning will hit. It's Rob Johnson. So the do-it-all pitcher Sam LeCure comes on. He started. We've seen him in a setup role, and we've seen him in this long relief role. And he's going to have to eat some innings here, or at least the Reds hope so. Although their bullpen is fairly rested.
Yeah, really, I think the thing for Sam LeCure right here is damage control. I mean, you've got 2 out in the inning. You want to get out of this inning, get your team off the field, maybe kind of get some offense going. I don't think that from the looks of what Wade LeBlanc has thrown so far that he's going to shut the Reds down today. So there's a lot of baseball to be played yet.
Fly ball right field. LeCure gets the 3rd out, but the Padres get 4, and they lead 4-0. As the Reds set to bat here in the 3rd. If you're just joining us, Dontrelle Willis had to lead this game early after giving up 4 earned runs in the 3rd inning. Sam LeCure came on to secure that 3rd out of the inning, and he will lead off the 3rd for Cincinnati. .25 games, 6 at bats. LeCure does have a hit. And Wade LeBlanc has yet to give up a hit to Cincinnati. Swing and a miss. Sam LeCure with Mustache Cornelius in tow, trying to swing the bat and be dangerous. Outside, we're even up 2-2. Two-two pitch. Fly ball left field. Left center field. And Maben calls off Darnell and makes the 1st out. Hey, Reds fans, if a Reds player hits the Toyota sign during today's game, Joseph Bushelman of Hamilton, Ohio, will win this beautiful new Tundra on display here at Great American Ballpark. Register for your chance to win at an upcoming game by seeing your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. Dave Chappelle, first pitch swinging. Bartlett with the play and the out.
Hey, Reds fans, if you're in the restaurant industry, let JTM Food Group help you with great tasting products for your menu. Inspired solutions and better results. JTM. By the way, I heard from the grill master, Michael Pickett, today from JTM, and he'll bring in the chuck wagon out here. Jesse, at the end of the month, we'll be feeding all the community service officers, police officers around, and the TV crew. We thank JTM for that.
Edgar Renteria walked in the first. Fly ball center field. Maben grabs it. And a 1-2-3 inning for LeBlanc. Reds need some runs.
He's making it look too easy.
Baseball is brought to you by JTM Food Group, proudly serving America's restaurants, schools, retailers, and our military around the world. JTM Food Group. By your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. For a dealer near you, visit buyatoyota.com. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO.
The Reds are going to get a sweep. They're going to have to come back from a 4-0 deficit. They sent 9 batters to the plate last inning, did the Padres. And Wade LeBlanc, the pitcher, fakes a bunt, will lead off.
He's the guy that got it all going last inning.
He did with the single. Pretty good hitter. .295 last season, 13 for 49. A career .236 hitter. 1-1 the count. Yeah, LeBlanc singled and scored the first run of this game. We mentioned the Reds bullpen pretty rested. We've yet to see Aroldis Chapman in this series. Bill Bray faced 1 batter in this series. Travis Wood worked the 9th inning last night. We haven't seen Nick Massett. Cordero closed it down Friday night. Didn't pitch yesterday. And with an off day tomorrow as LeCure strikes out LeBlanc looking. With an off day tomorrow, you got to think that Dusty has a lot of pitchers at his disposal the rest of the way.
So really what you're saying is it's been a real quiet weekend for Porky Lopez down there.
It has been a quiet weekend for Porky. Check out our AT&T trivia question of the day. Who are the 5 active managers to play 15+ seasons in the majors? 5 active managers who had long careers, 15+ seasons. How many can you name?
See, now this is the kind of trivia question that I like, because you can eventually get this, or at least come close, just by process of elimination. Oh, you're looking at one right there. Let's give you the giveaway. Dusty Baker, obviously more than 15 years in the major leagues. So now you only have 4 to go.
Ground ball third. Cairo's got it and retires Maben for the second out. Well, let's see. Kirk Gibson.
He's been around a while.
I'm going to stop right there. We're going to let the fans think about it.
Oh, that's a good idea. Such a teaser.
I'm a man of the people, Chris Welch.
You are. A man of the minions. What are they calling you now on Twitter?
Jaminions.
Jaminions.
The Jaminions, yes. I'm only about, I don't know, 120,000 followers behind Brandon Phillips. Just a
Well,
few.
you know, BP will buy you dinner or buy you trips and buy you presents if you have
He's
to
unbelievable.
follow his tweets and show up where he is.
He's given away trips to Arizona, to spring training, to Chicago. Gave another one to Arizona. Gave a trip away to San Francisco. All the time giving away memorabilia. And as if he's listening, get right to him, and he records the third out. Oh, mercy. Every day is. They face the Washington Nationals. Make sure you get to the game early and be one of the first 20,000 fans through the gates to receive a Reds playing card set featuring Reds caricatures next to Walgreens. For tickets, see your Reds and Nationals. You can call 513-381-REDS or visit Reds.com. Joey Votto down the left field line, and it falls out of play. We talked about the Padres, who are a better hitting team against left-handed pitching, which they got 4 runs off of Dontrelle Willis. The Reds versus lefties, they haven't shown it today. 289 average, first in the National League, and first in the league in on-base percentage and slugging percentage against lefties.
And a lot of it due to Joey Votto.
But so far, nada. Not a hit. 2-2 the count to Joey Votto as he leads off in the fourth. Outside, and we've gone full. Walked him. Third walk of the game by LeBlanc. All right, let's answer our AT&T trivia question. 5 managers played 15+ seasons in the majors. How many did you get? Dusty, Kirk Gibson, Ozzie Guillen, Joe Girardi, and Bud Black. So 2 in the yard today. Bud Black pitched 15 years in the majors. Seattle, Kansas City, Cleveland, Toronto, and San Francisco. He compiled a 121-116 career record. That's a whole lot of baseball right there. And they're still putting the uniform on every day. And a contrast in styles as the ball gets away, and Votto makes it to second. Thought about going to third. Made a big turn out there. So a wild pitch here, and the Reds have their first runner, or actually another runner, in scoring position.
Well, the Reds don't have to get them all back in this inning, but you certainly would like to see them at least get one, maybe more in this inning. Promising so far. Runner at second, nobody out, middle of the order up. But rather than trying to get too greedy right here, take what is out there. And if Brandon Phillips now adopts the attitude of hitting that ball in right field, taking it the other way, moving Votto over, it'll make it a lot easier for Jay Bruce to drive him in with just a fly ball or a ground ball. Pick up one at the minimum. Don't waste the at-bat.
Phillips reached on that fielder's choice in the first, where he blooped one down the right field line that fell in. 2-0 pitch. 3-0. Green light him here?
Well, the Reds will swing at a lot of 3-0 pitches, but Joey Votto is by far the guy in this Reds ball club that is green lighted the most.
And he takes it for ball 4, so the Reds in business here in the fourth.
Boy, this has just got to drive a manager batty. If you're Bud Black, you're over there walking back and forth, you're shaking your head, you're looking around saying, what is he doing? We got this guy a 4 spot, and he doesn't like a lead or what?
And he sends out his pitching coach to settle down Wade LeBlanc.
Well, it happened to LeBlanc in the first inning. When he did get wild there, he walked back-to-back hitters, Renteria and then Joey Votto. So he's walked Votto twice. Now he's walked Phillips and Votto back-to-back, and you still have some power coming up in Bruce and Stubbs.
Jay Bruce, home run number 25 last night.
Got a breaking ball. He hit a breaking ball the night before against Josh Spence. That one against Tim Stauffer, and Jay Bruce is seeing it real big right now.
Homered in 3 of his last 4 games. Reds would take just a single here. They would probably settle for moving those runners over with no outs here in the fourth. Votto on second. Phillips on first. Reds down 4-0. And the 0-1 pitch. Nope. Fake to second. He's trying to keep Votto from a big secondary lead. There's a drive. Deep right center field. That bad boy is gone. Mercy me is Jay Bruce hot.
How about Jay Bruce? He gets a 1-0 fastball. LeBlanc trying to paint the outside corner, gets the outer third, and Jay Bruce is all over it. You talk about a guy that when he gets hot, he is lava hot. That takes care of that 4-run deficit just about right now. Down by 1.
3-run shot. Jay Bruce safe at home, safe and secure.
New York life
Dominated that, brother.
What a nice, easy swing on this for Jay Bruce. Gets his foot down, stays back, doesn't move his head. Very little forward movement on that swing by Bruce. Just stayed behind the baseball. Man, oh man, you talk about being in the zone.
Third time in Bruce's career he's homered in 3 straight games. Did it in 08. Did it last season. Still nobody out. Drew Stubbs. Foul ball right side.
You know, not that it really matters in the 4th inning, but that home run by Jay Bruce broke up the no-hit attempt by Wade LeBlanc. That's the first and only hit the Reds have had.
And a big one. Inside pitch. And Stubbs goes down on strikes. Gonna see that one again.
Well, our Fox Tracks brought to you by Champions Windows. Shows it right on the inside corner.
Second strikeout of the game for LeBlanc, and he'll go to work against Miguel Cairo. Still only 1 out. Dontrell Willis left with soreness in his left forearm. It's the only report we got. Ground ball right side. Hudson backhands it and records the second out. That'll bring up Ramon Hernandez, who grounded out in the second. And Ramon riding a 5-game hitting streak. Check out the glasses look on Chris Heisey. On the disabled list. First pitch to Ramon. In there for a strike. Inside. Reds have 31 come from behind wins this season. Trying for 32. As they've cut the deficit to 1. Nice catch by a fan.
Yeah, we've seen some good catches in the stands and box plays already. But a different attitude and energy already in this ballpark after that Bruce home run. I mean, it was quiet.
It was dead in here. There's no question about it. And that guy that just caught the ball just gave the ball to a youngster. Big league move. One-two pitch. Foul back. Stays alive. Try the 1-2 again. Stays alive again. A 25-pitch inning for Wade LeBlanc.
Started with back-to-back bases on balls, and when he comes into the dugout, I mean, Buddy Black wouldn't even have to say anything to him. Those walks will haunt, especially if you give them up at a ballpark like this.
Ground ball left side. Forsythe pulls blanks off the bat, but he makes the tag. But Jay Bruce, a 3-run Johnson. It's a 1-run game.
Four-3, San Diego over the Reds. Jay Bruce just hit a home run. We saw some home runs hit in Goodyear, Arizona this year at Fantasy Camp. Chris Welsh, you were there. And I am here in Section 136, and all these guys behind me in the white jerseys are all fantasy campers. They've been coming back and forth, and I've got a bunch of guys up here. One of the guys, of course, is right here next to me, Mr. Thornburg. And you've been coming to camp how many years now?
Well, this is my 4 years with the Reds, and I have been to 3 others.
And how old are you?
73.
73 years old. He can still swing a bat. He can still get up and down the baselines. And, Chris, you see it. These guys all hit. They have a blast. Opportunity this weekend for them to come in. It's the reunion weekend, we call it. And tomorrow we get to play a game right here at Great American Ballpark on the field. You think you could take Welch out of here?
Well, we just might try it.
Well, there you go, Chris. Jim, you got to get out there and do this. It is such a blast. And, again, camp, there's still some openings this year, too. All you got to go is go online to reds.com/fantasycamp. Guys, back upstairs.
I'm waiting for my invite. I'm there. I'd like to go against you, Lefty.
You know what? It would be nice. It'd be nice. A lot. You know what? If you do take me deep Jim Day, you just join a long line of other hitters that have done it. There's the info on it. Fantasy Camp is a great time. February 4th through the 11th. More information, you just get online, reds.com Fantasy Camp or 1-800-755-REDS.
And the features that we've shown on Reds Live pregame is Hudson grounds it to the right side. Votto onto the cure for the first down. The features we've seen, it does look like a hoop. And you get a uniform with your name on it. You get to dress in the Reds' brand new facility in Goodyear, Arizona.
I mean, big league trainers, big league uniforms, big league ball diamonds. They have umpires. You're playing doubleheaders every day. You're eating terrific food down there, and it's just a great time.
And you and other former Reds players always come back for that.
Got a lot of guys down there.
Cactus Jack Billingham.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a lot of players who are in the Reds Hall of Fame that participate. Jim Maloney, Lee May, Tom Browning is down there.
Doug Flynn.
Doug Flynn runs the whole thing. He does a super job doing it. I did see Doug was down the field before the game today.
One of the greatest guys ever.
Well, they played a game yesterday over St. Henry High School in northern Kentucky. And about half the group was over there. They played a full 9-inning game, and they were sliding head first and having a great time. So if you think that you're too old or you're too out of shape, you're not. We'd like to get you down there.
I'm ready. Two on the count to Kyle Blanks. Blanks 0 for 2, but he did have an RBI ground out in the third. Made the score 2-0. Swing and a miss. Even up 2-2. Righty versus righty. The Cure bringing it to the big Blanks, and Blanks sends one to left field. So Pelt has room for the second out. Tonight at 6:30 here on Fox Sports Ohio, join Tom Brokaw for Boys in the Hall, the personal stories of baseball's greatest legends. This week it's Yogi Berra, Boys in the Hall, Sunday, presented by Subway, where winners eat. That's tonight. So 2 down, and here's Aaron Cunningham. Swing and a miss. Cunningham grounded out in the second. Walked and scored in the third. Sam LeCure trying to keep it a 1-run deficit. 1-1 pitch. Outside.
One of those ball games for a reliever like Sam LeCure. You come into a game, you're down by a few runs, all of a sudden your team rallies, and if you pitch at the right opportunity and throw a couple of zeros on the board, you may just end up with a little bit of a W right here. It's all about timing.
Well, it came in the third after Willis left with an injury. There's a fly ball to left, and Sam LeCure has picked up the Reds. A 1-2-3-5, 4-3 Padres. One with the Reds. Try the Mike Sells Picnic Tent. Enjoy a private ballpark buffet before the game and then head to your seats for all the action. Plus, enjoy plenty of Mike Sells chips, the official potato chip of the Cincinnati Reds. Call the Reds Group Sales Department at 765-7600 or visit reds.com/groups for information. Fred Lewis will pinch hit here to lead off the fifth for Cincinnati. So LeCure does his job. And Lewis been a pretty good pinch hitter this season, Chris. Ranks amongst the major league leaders in batting average as a pinch hitter. 391, home run and 5 RBI.
Well, that's one area where the Reds have been good as a team all year long. Fred Lewis just part of that whole component of pinch hitters that have been real successful.
So LeCure retired the final out of the third. Worked a 1-2-3 fourth and a 1-2-3 fifth. So exactly what the doctor ordered for LeCure, coming in for an injured Dontrell Willis, who, if you're just joining us, left with soreness in his left forearm. He will be re-examined tomorrow. Two-two pitch. Swing and a miss. Third strikeout for LeBlanc. When the Reds get it done with an RBI this season, that means another $25 from the Shakely Group for the Reds Community Fund. Shakely, it's done. Back to the top of the order, and Dave Chappelle grounded out twice to the shortstop. And this time he does not swing at the first pitch.
Headline news.
And he does not swing at the second pitch.
High strike right there. Yeah, well, that's a breaking ball at the very upper end of the strike zone.
Oh-2 pitch. Foul ball. Be sure to stay tuned today. Immediately following Reds Live postgame, we'll be airing a 2-hour broadcast of the Pro Football Hall of Fame Enshrinement Festival, featuring the Timken Grand Parade from Canton, Ohio. Reds down by a run. Swing and a miss. And back-to-back strikeouts for LeBlanc. And 4 on the game.
When he throws strikes, he's very deceptive. That's a changeup right there for LeBlanc at 83. Even though he gets it up in the zone, he gets a swing and miss by Chappelle. The only time he has really run into problems was last inning. Walked a couple, gave up a home run to Jay Bruce, and that has been the essence of the Reds offense.
Edgar Renteria walked in the first, flew out in the third. 243 on the season. Even up 1-1. Sun shining. It's gone in and out here on a mostly overcast day, but a dry one, and we'll take it. Pleasant temperatures, as you said, Chris. Blessed with weather all week. Foul ball. Had over 31,000 last night. Another good crowd today. showing Reds baseball. The Reds trying to win their 5th straight. Strike 3 call, and LeBlanc strikes out the side in the 5th. Best seats in the house before the game, located behind section 133 down the first base line, and you can register for your chance to win a $2,000 shopping spree thanks to Furniture Fair. We've seen Dontrell Willis, Sam LeCure did his job, and now Jose Arredondo.
Well, a couple of times in this series that we've seen Jose Arredondo. He pitched last night in relief of Homer Bailey. Right-hander for the 34th time. Of course, he was claimed off, I don't know, well, I guess it was a waiver claim that they made from the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. He had an injured arm at the time. The Reds gave him Tommy John surgery. They rehabbed him, and here he is in the major leagues. After throwing the ball very well in spring training, went down to the minor leagues for a while, came up here, and he's been one of the better middle relievers the Reds have been able to depend on all year.
Working against Logan Forsythe. And he's even up 1-1. The funniest man in Cincinnati's in the booth right now.
That would be Josh Snead.
My man. Swing and a miss. National comedian. We're not talking about a local comedian. Of course, he works the local clubs. Seen him on Comedy Central. Travels all around the country.
Maybe you could hit him up for some new material while he's up here.
I need some. Got any jokes we can tell on the air? Josh is a staple at Reds Fest. Grab a mic here, big boy.
Boy.
How we looking?
This is great, man. This is fantastic.
You got a seat there, Josh?
If I was
a chair,
if I was as good as a comedian as you said I was, I'd be working right now.
Uh-oh.
That was not me. If you heard that at home, that was not me. Whatever fell down.
And there's Mr. Snead.
Hello.
And you are a new father in the last couple months, correct?
Yeah, 1 month old. Dean Snead. It's crazy.
How's your life changed now that you have a baby around the house?
A lot of new material, a lot less sleep, basically is what it boils down to. But it's amazing how long the 9 months was leading up to it, and then it's already been a month, you know? I didn't really have to make any sacrifices. The wife made all the sacrifices.
So where you been? You spend more time on the road than we do.
I just flew back from Baltimore this morning, and was there for 3 nights. Got the early flight so I could make the game today. It's the first time I've gotten down to the park since opening day, so this is awesome.
It's good to see that. You're going to be over at the Marty Bradman Golf Tournament. You've worked it in the past, but
yeah.
this time you're going to come as a pedestrian golfer.
Yeah, pedestrian at best. I love Marty Golf is like the pinnacle of the year for me. I mean, if you ever get a chance to be a part of it, I highly recommend it because it is so much fun to go down there to Belterra, and of course the Reds Community Fund's amazing charity, and they always very nice to me as well.
Arredondo walks James Darnell. So man aboard with 1 out here in the 6th.
So Josh, do you follow the Reds when you're on the road?
Oh yeah, I've got the MLB app for my iPad so I can watch the games, and this is I've been a fan since I was a little kid, so just to sit up here with you guys and to get to do Marty Golf and Reds Fest and stuff like that, it's pretty surreal for me.
Well, Chris thinks I need some comedic material.
You have a bigger fan club than anybody. I see the people chanting your name after the games down there.
It's
right?
only to get on TV. Let's face it. I'm the man in front of the camera.
No, you've got the Twitter fan base. You're connected to the people.
You're exactly right, Josh. I mean, how many people in Cincinnati do you know have their face on a popsicle stick like he does? And they're everywhere. That's when you know you've hit it big.
Well, I've had a lot of those popsicle sticks down there in the diamond section today.
Diamond Club.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Splurging.
Sitting with the bigwigs. Chopper. Could be 2, 4, 3. Double play. Josh Snead, thanks for stopping by.
Love you guys. I'll see you at Marty
Funny
Golf.
man of Cincinnati. Reds down by a run. Freeze cam. Cameron Maben going and getting it to rob Miguel Cairo. That was in the 2nd inning. Part of a 1-2-3 inning. Brought to you by Coors Light. Frost brewed. Coors Light. 4-3 is your score. As Joey Votto set to lead it off here in the 6th. Reds down by a run. It'll be Votto, Phillips, and Bruce.
So far, so good for Wade LeBlanc, except for that one pitch that he gave to Jay Bruce to knock a 3-run home run. He has allowed the Reds only that one hit. I got to figure that in the Reds dugout, they're looking out at LeBlanc saying, man, oh man, this guy is shutting us down right now. How is this happening? But it happened last year the same way. He pitched 6 innings of 3-hit shutout baseball against the Reds, and before you know it, the Padres are on to a 5-0 victory.
Base hit. Votto's reached base 3 times, 2 walks, and now a single here to lead off the 6th. Pretty swing each and every time at bat, it seems. here's Brandon Phillips. Back in the lineup today. Talking to Dusty Baker before the game, he said there are certain guys that talk so much, you can't wait for them to get back out on the field. And he was talking like a machine the last 4 days. Said he couldn't wait to get him out of there.
When you're used to playing every day and you don't play, you've got all that pent-up energy. I'm sure Dusty Baker's not the only one. I think Billy Hatcher probably happy to get him out of the dugout and on the field again.
Oh, he was messing with Hatch yesterday. Big time. Pitch from LeBlanc. Foul out of play. Come for the Reds, stay for more fun. Visit Cleopatra the Exhibition at Cincinnati Museum Center and make it a weekend getaway. Book your trip at CincinnatiUSA.com. I said CincinnatiUSA.com. Have I mentioned I love me some Cincinnati USA?
You've seen that exhibit up close.
I have. If you like history,
yeah,
check it out. They've got some artifacts over there that are really old.
That's the best way you can describe it, is really old.
Okay,
I mean, that's what they do in museums, right?
Cleopatra in all her grandeur. You can walk through the statues that she used to walk through on a daily basis.
Now you're talking. Well, Brandon Phillips still looking for a fastball from Wade LeBlanc, and LeBlanc seems to be throwing it slower and slower every pitch. LeBlanc seems like the type of pitcher that knows his limitations. And slower is better.
0-2 pitch. Fouled out.
There's a theory in pitching that you either throw above the hitting speed or below the hitting speed. So if you're a guy like a Aroldis Chapman or Johnny Cueto, you know, you throw above the hitting speed, and if you're LeBlanc, you're definitely throwing below it.
Isn't it good for every man to know his limitations? I've mastered it.
You can learn it the hard way or the easy way.
I learned it the hard way. I'm a vet now. How about Phillips and Willis in the dugout at the same time? Neither playing. It was a talk-off, according to Dusty.
Who would win that?
Whew. Tell you what. Probably Don Terrell. But it's close. That's a pick'em. 1-2 pitch. Out off again.
Well, Brandon, as he has done many times, did a great one-handed grab by a fan of the second row of the second deck.
A lot of catches today.
A lot of good ones, barehanded.
Reds fans bringing it today. There he is. He's even on the phone. It's like, hey, dude. By the way, I just caught a foul ball. Hey, what time you picking me up? Hey, I just caught a foul ball. One-two pitch. Out back again. Nice battle brewing here. LeBlanc and Phillips.
Well, you know what Brandon Phillips has done is he's changed his approach in this at-bat, and we've seen it so many times. First swing, sometimes he takes such a big hack, and it looks like he's just trying to hit the ball into the river. But when he gets two strikes on him in a situation where he really needs a base hit, you see him spread his legs a little bit, trying to hunker down a little bit lower, and cuts his swing down, and just becomes a much tougher and peskier out.
One on, no outs. We're in the sixth. Reds trail 4-3. Fell behind 4-0. and have cut it to a 1-run deficit on the 3-run home run by Jay Bruce. Looking for some business here. Try the 1-2 again. Ground ball. This is trouble. 6, 4, 3.
Now the battle won by Wade LeBlanc right there. He stayed stubborn with that off-speed pitch. Finally throws a 73-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch and gets Brandon Phillips on the ground. Nice turn by Orlando Hudson there at second base. And just like that, the rally's snuffed.
So a big double play by Wade LeBlanc and the Padres, and in steps Jay Bruce. Home run number 26 in the 4th. 5 for 9 in the series. Chad Qualls and Pat Neshek throwing in the pen. By the way, Pat Neshek was just called up today, right-handed pitcher, and they optioned rookie Blake Tico to Double-A San Antonio. And I understand Pat Neshek has a very quirky motion. If he gets into the game, you'll see what I'm talking about. LeBlanc sitting on 93 pitches. Two pitch. Strike 3 called, and Bruce didn't like it. Reds nothing in the 6th, 4-3 Pods.
Baseball is brought to you by AT&T. Cincinnati Children's ranks 3rd in the nation on U.S. News and World Report's honor roll for Best Children's Hospitals 2011. By your Cincinnati Northern Kentucky Honda dealers. Visit mycincinnatihondadealer.com for current offers. And by Wendy's. You know when it's real.
On to the 7th we go. And a pinch hitter for the Padres is Alberto Gonzalez. He will hit for the pitcher Wade LeBlanc, so LeBlanc's day is done. LeBlanc goes 6 innings, gives up just 2 hits, but one of those hits, a 3-run home run off the bat of Jay Bruce. the Padres hold on, he's your winning pitcher.
Well, the way he pitches against the Reds, you figure that they would fly him in from Tucson to pitch against this Red Leg team anytime and anywhere. Last year, just about the same thing.
Jose Arredondo, his second inning of work, and he walks the leadoff man, and that has been a problem for him this season. And here's Cameron Maybin back to the top of the order. 0 for 2 on the day. Swing and a miss. We're even up 1-1. Pittsburgh leading Milwaukee 1-0 in the 4th. Brewers going for a sweep of the Pirates, trying to improve on their 43-15 record at home. Rowe. One pitch in there for a strike. Check out our Honda standings, National League Central. Again, Milwaukee trailing 1-0, top of the 4th. And St. Louis and Colorado will do battle tonight. 5-run cushion. 18 games over 500 are the Milwaukee Brewers. Opened up a 7-game homestand as Maybin goes down on strikes.
A couple of good looking back-to-back pitches right there for Jose Arredondo. He needed a strikeout right there after walking the leadoff man. And that's that splitter that he throws. It looks just like a fastball. At the last second, it just drops right off the table. Great look at it.
So 1 out, and Jason Bartlett at the plate. Singled in the 1st, flew out in the 3rd, grounded out in the 4th. First pitch strike. While we have a moment, I want to send out our condolences, our prayers and thoughts to that horrible accident yesterday at the Indiana State Fair. Stage collapsed. There were some fatalities, injuries. Our thoughts and prayers to everyone affected. Double play ball. Phillips can't turn it, though. They do get the lead runner. That was a scary scene at the Indiana State Fair. It's good Reds country over there. And just know you're in our thoughts and prayers. Two down in Orlando Hudson. We talked about Brandon Phillips yapping in the dugout earlier. Dusty Baker went out of his way to talk about Orlando Hudson. Says he talks so much we can hear him from the opposing dugout. He talks so much he talks to himself. Now, if you're heard from the opposing dugout, he might be tongue-in-cheek.
Well, I remember last year when the Reds were in San Diego when Orlando Hudson was believe it was in San Diego. Anyway, Hudson and Phillips got together, and it was an ongoing conversation that both dugouts could probably hear. Gesturing wildly, having a lot of fun. Both of them really love playing a game of baseball.
Hudson singled in the third and scored the third run of the game. Strike call. The O-Dog. Pitch. Check swing and foul ball. Dan Uggla, the Braves, sitting on a 33-game hit streak. So far 0 for 1 today at Sacrifice Farm. So this is when the pressure starts to mount. When you get up in that range, 33 games, 11 games shy of Pete Rose's National League record. Pressure mounts. He's due up in the next half of their inning. Trying to keep you updated on that.
Of course, for Atlanta, from a team standpoint, they are 5 games ahead in the wild card. They're 8.5 or 9 back behind the Philadelphia Phillies right now. That is a race that looks like the Phillies are not ready to relinquish. They are certainly in command in the wild card so far. Atlanta, then 5 games back, San Francisco, and then St. Louis.
Throw over, close play. Bartlett just getting back. You really have a big lead. Deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Redondo's got what he likes and brings it. Runner going, swung on, and fair ball down the right field line. This might score Bartlett. They're waving him around. Bruce just getting to it. And Hudson in there with an RBI triple. So the leadoff walk comes back to haunt.
Well, they picked a great time to go right there. A 2-2 count. Orlando Hudson hits a ball down the line for a double. When you send a speedy runner from first base and the batter behind him hits a double, you're almost assuredly going to score. And this is what happens right here. Not even a double, but a triple for Hudson as he comes around second and heads all the way into third. Bartlett gets the wave through by Hoffman. And the Padres come right back to score another run to give them a 2-run lead.
I mentioned that leadoff walk. They got that leadoff runner in the force out at second base, but the failure to turn the double play by the Reds comes back to haunt. As Bartlett reached on that fielder's choice and just scored. Cairo retires Orlando Hudson, but the Padres get an insurance run. As we do always on Sunday, middle of the 7th, we will pause to honor our country with God Bless America.
And the Reds salute the men and women of our armed forces. And at this time, please help us honor these brave men and women and all our veterans of service, and welcome Scott Moslin as he leads us in God Bless America. All right, ladies.
.com at Bat 11 for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text @BAT to 31826 or visit Reds.com for details. Five-3 score. And the San Diego Padres, pretty good record when leading after 6 innings.
Well, they've got a nice bullpen. Really what they do, and they excel, and when they get that lead, they keep the lead. They try to shorten the ball game. They have the lead now with an extra run added on at the top of the 7th, 5-3, and enter Chad Qualls. Veteran right-hander, 4 years at Houston, 3 years with Arizona, last year with the Tampa Bay Rays, and now here in his first season with the Padres.
I undersold that. 37-7 is a great record.
Well, that's, when you're 30 games over 500, that means you get the lead, you keep the lead, but more important than that, when you're managing against a team like that, you really do the best you can to try to get to them before you get to the 7th or the 8th inning. Heath Bell in the 9th has been lights out. He's one of the best closers in the National League this year. Qualls and company has been very good. Now remember, they traded one of their better setup men, and Mike Adams, right at the trading deadline to the Texas Rangers.
1-2 count now to Drew Stubbs. Stubbs grounded out in the 2nd, struck out looking in the 4th.
Both of these teams have had so many close ball games this year. Games that have been determined by 2 runs or fewer.
So that insurance run in the last half looming large right now. Failure to turn the double play. And the Reds, it's been part of their bread and butter the last 2 years. Particularly with Brandon Phillips back in the game today. Two-two pitch, grounder to 3rd. Forsythe across the blanks and 1 out.
Pretty good arm right there.
Very good arm right there. The nation's biggest high school football showcase is even bigger than ever. The 2011 Skyline Chili Crosstown Showdown, presented by Meyer and Dr. Pepper, features 34 of the region's best teams playing 17 games over 10 days. For advanced tickets, they're just $10. Visit SkylineCrosstownShowdown.com for the complete schedule and event details. Miguel Cairo first pitch swinging. Bartlett blanks, 2 down. Dan Uggla now 0 for 2. So that 33-game hit streak on the line. Here's Ramon Hernandez with 2 outs. By the way, happy 40th anniversary. Reds general manager Walt Jocketty and wife Sue. 40 years in wedlock.
Congratulations. That is wonderful.
Happy anniversary. And there is the Reds GM. And what better way to spend the anniversary than at work? If you want to call what we do work, which is stretching it for me.
Well, I think what Walt does is work.
Very good point.
Nowadays,
what we do is not.
Job is a 24-hour-a-day, 7 days a week job. That phone will ring at any time. Talking to general managers around. He's got his son Joey there to his left. Sue to his right.
40 years. That's terrific.
Joey getting ready to go back to school there at Miami of Oxford. Can't be but about a week or so away.
In there for a strike. Hernandez didn't like it. Got a few words for the home plate umpire. So Qualls ahead 1-2. 2 outs in the 7th. Reds down by 2. 1-2 pitch. By the way, I'm very disappointed I didn't see a Padres jersey in the booth today. Talked about that last night. I was hoping you'd bring that bad boy in.
Couldn't locate
Welsh on the back. Check swing. Didn't go.
I know I have it somewhere. I had to buy it from a memorabilia dealer, as I remember.
You had to buy it?
Well, back in those days, you didn't get jerseys as your departing gift when you were traded. And I was traded quickly out of the Padres one year. So I ran into a dealer somewhere down the line. He said, hey, by the way, I bought your jersey from San Diego a few years ago. You want it? I said, sure.
Absolutely.
There's a one buyer for everything. Just goes to show you.
Swing and a miss. And a 1-2-3 inning for Chad Qualls, and the Padres hold on to a 2-run lead. Another blast off the bat of Jay Bruce. He stays hot. A 3-run home run in the 4th. One swing of the bat. We turned a 4-0 deficit into a 4-3 game. But the Padres, with that insurance run in the 7th have a 2-run lead. New pitcher Nick Massett.
Well, often used Nick Massett like he was last year. He's had a few days off, though, so he ought to be rested and back and ready to go. Need a 0 on the board for Massett right here. Like Arredondo, the downside of Nick Massett, when he does go bad, he has a hard time finding the strike zone, especially early in the count. And with the stuff that he throws up there, and his fastball can ride up there as high as 96, 97 miles an hour at times. You need to just go ahead and just challenge those hitters and get that first pitch in there for a strike.
He'll face Aaron Cunningham to lead off the 8th. Cunningham, Forsythe, Darnell. 3 righties.
A lot of righties in the lineup today for Bud Black, given the fact that Dontrell Willis, the starter for the Reds, was left-handed.
Check swing, he went.
What sometimes happens is that when you have a left-handed starter that leaves the game early, all of a sudden your lineup now is exposed to, you know, a series of right-handed pitchers that the opposing manager, in this case Dusty Baker, comes from out of the bullpen.
0-2 pitch. Outside. If you're just joining us, Dontrell Willis left the game with soreness in his left forearm. Will be re-examined tomorrow. Gave up 4 earned runs in just 2 2/3 innings. That hit him. Ouch. Reds fans, the 100 Days of Summer Sweepstakes means 100 days of great prizes. Text SUMMER to 37664 right now to be entered for all remaining giveaways, including today's prize, a home improvement gift card and a car safety kit. It's easy to enter. Just text SUMMER to 37664, message and data rates apply. So hit batsman, the runner aboard for Logan Forsythe. Ramon Hernandez appears to be laboring a bit behind home plate. Home plate umpire was giving him a minute. He's actually going to take a couple practice throws here. Not sure if that ball must have struck him after it hit.
Yeah, it looks like it got him on the hand. You know, it is so easy for us to stay up here. Oh, that catching job is tough, and these guys are just as tough as nails back there. But, man, oh, man, until you go into your garage and take a hammer and smash your right hand with it, you don't get the feeling of what that's like. Take another look at it.
Bang, bang, ow. Man, that Exmo look, you can just see that. Ooh. Tough job back there.
Right.
Watch his wrist just buckle. Ah, yikes. Pitch to Forsythe in there. I would challenge anyone to just go and squat like a catcher for 2 or 3 minutes straight. Just squatting is a tough job. You're a catcher and you log some years in this game, man, your knees just take a beating. One and one at the count to Logan Forsythe. 1-1 pitch, runner going. Ground ball, shortstop. No play at second, only play at first. They get the out. But Cunningham running on the play makes it into scoring position.
Well, they avoid the double play right there. It seems like Bud Black has picked the right times to run, especially in the last couple of innings. He ran Jason Bartlett on the double by Orlando Hudson on a 2-2 count, and Bartlett came around to score run number 5.
Brings up the rookie James Darnell, called up on Monday. Had his first big league hit on Wednesday after making his major league debut on Tuesday. Plays third base, left field as well. An avid trumpet player. Played for his county honor jazz band. You play any instruments at the great St. X?
No, I did not. I got cut from the band too. How about you? Are you a musician?
Play a little guitar.
Nice.
I do.
Maybe someday hear you jam with Bronson.
I don't want to bring Bronson down. Bronson's pretty good. He plays more than me. And he's friends with Eddie Vedder. So I've got really no shot.
Yeah, you're right. Better keep it local.
He went to a concert, Pearl Jam, up in Columbus. Because usually, for whatever reason, his schedule's never worked out. Finally got to see him. And Eddie Vedder took him backstage. And they had a little session talking about songwriting, etc. And then Bronson laid the term on him, toe the slab. We've heard that in baseball. And I guess Eddie Vedder really liked it and wrote it into his songbook. So if you ever hear a song in the future from Pearl Jam or Eddie Vedder as a solo artist, and you hear the term toe the slab, it came from Arroyo. There's my minutia for the day.
I like that.
Were you here the day that Eddie Vedder was here? Do you remember when he came here?
He didn't come up into the booth.
No, but he was down on the field.
Yeah.
Growing up, his idol was Jose Cardinal.
That's right.
Base hit left field. This is going to score enough. And the Padres are doing their best to avoid the sweep.
Well, running on that pitch to be able to avoid the double play was key right there. And they play a little bit of add-on. They got one last inning. They got another one right here on a base hit by Darnell in the left field. That was another situation where even if he would look like he was running on that pitch.
And I believe that's the first career RBI of James Darnell. Second career RBI. I'll be all right. He had one earlier. I think his trumpet playing got me all confused. How about the first career 2 RBI game? Now I'm rolling.
Well, I'm not surprised. I mean, if you looked up and down this lineup with the Padres, I mean, I would challenge the average Reds fan who just mildly follows the game but follows the Reds on a regular basis to tell me how many players in this starting lineup they even recognize their name. I mean, they're pulling guys up out of their AAA franchise to come on this road trip, and they started off the trip in great fashion. The Reds took the first 2, but here they are with a bunch of no-names ready to derail the Reds in their attempt to try to sweep. If you get good pitching, anything can happen. Now, there's a whole bunch of guys in that dugout that come into the category of just happy to be here.
Darnell going. Throw down. Gets into center field, but Darnell will stay right there. Chris, I'm just happy to be here.
Well, you've earned it, Jim Day. You've done a nice job first couple of days.
It's not an easy gig up here, as this half inning will suggest. So another runner in scoring position. One run across already here in the 8th against Nick Massett. Still only one out.
Looks like a little bit of rain beginning to fall here at Great American Ballpark. Some of the people beginning to make their way upstairs to stay under the roof.
2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. And Johnson is down on strikes. Second out of the inning. Fifth strikeout recorded by Reds pitchers today.
Well, pinch hitter will come up for the Padres. That's left-handed hitting Will Venable.
Venable started the first 2 games in right field. A day off from the starting lineup today. The son of Max Venable steps in with 2 outs in the 8th. Fly ball, left center field. Stubbs has a beat on it. And the Padres are retired, but they get another. And they have a 3-run lead. Cameron Maben. Sliding catch, diving catch, and protected himself to boot. Robbing Miguel Cairo. And not much doing for the Reds offensively today. Only 2 hits, and the 3 runs came on 1 swing of the bat off of Jay Bruce. And leading off this inning is Yonder Alonso, and our Farmers Insurance report card on him, Chris.
Now we just take a little look at his bio. Drafted in 2008 in the first round, 7th overall in that draft. He was the International League midseason All-Star last year and this year, and was in the Futures games a couple years in a row. And the guy can flat out hit. There's just no question about that. And he will pinch hit and face a new pitcher out there, and by the name of Luke Gregerson. Gregerson assumes the role that was left by Mike Adams, who was traded to Texas. Venable stays in the game and goes to right.
Aaron Cunningham has moved over from right field to left field. First pitch swinging. Chopper to the first baseman. Easy play and 1 out. And there's Aaron Cunningham, started the game in right. stays in the game, now playing left.
Now, we gave you the stat of the Padres. When they lead after 6, their record is 37-7. When they lead after 7, which is where they are right now, their record is 38 wins and only 3 losses. And all those losses have come on this road trip. One of them came the other night when Jay Bruce thrilled the crowd with a home run to win the ball game.
Yeah, they could have very easily have swept the New York Mets at 4 in New York. They had leads in the first 2 games of those series, and the Mets rallied late. Padres came back to win games 3 and 4. Rain picks up a little more here. Dave Chappelle looks at strike 1. And despite losing the first 2 games of this series, the Padres have won 6 of 10 and 7 of 13. Since June 21st, they're only 1 game under 500, 23 and 24. So they're playing better baseball for Bud Black. Of course, last year they took it down to the final day of the season. Nearly got into the playoffs for Bud Black. And Bud Black, 1 vote. He won the National League Manager of the Year over Dusty Baker. Traded Adrian Gonzalez in the offseason. Moved Ryan Ludwig at the deadline. Moved Adams, the other relief pitcher. Rebuilding that farm system. And their ownership group has said that we're going to gradually increase payroll up near the $70 million range. And so far, the Padres fans have bought into it. As Chappelle with a base hit. His first of the day. He's now hitting safely in 6 of 8 games.
Well, he had been playing Pepper with the shortstop. A couple of ground outs to short, a strikeout, and he gets a slider out here right on the end of the bat and didn't hit it hard, but found a spot in left center field for a base hit. And with 1 out, the Reds have reached 1.
I'd like to see him get at least 1 here. They have any chance to come back.
Chappelle has stolen base speed, but when you're down by 3 instead of up by 1, you don't play quite as aggressive baseball. Bud Black was able to put the running game on in a couple of key situations, already having had the lead, and then try to add on a little bit, because if you get thrown out, big deal, you still have the lead. Here, you don't want to run yourself out of an inning, which is most likely the reason why Chappelle will not be going in this at bat.
Rain falling harder. Now there are tons going for the main concourse. 0-2 the count to Edgar Renteria. Fouled back, and Renteria lost the grip of that bat. Gregerson will return it. That was the giveaway today. Getting the kids ready for school with that Jay Bruce binder. Or rain helmet in this case. Multi-use giveaway.
I like it. Came with a nice little pencil bag on the inside of that binder too. Didn't know if you noticed that.
Did not. I didn't get one.
That'd be a good match for your pencil sharpener that you pushed off the edge, broke.
Actually,
pieces returned by the COO of the Reds himself.
My friend Josh Snead, when he sat down, kind of edged that bad boy off when he sat down. Not to throw Josh under the bus or anything. But yes, unfortunately, it did not hit any. Or Josh would have had to go down there and tell some jokes and lighten up whoever it hit.
Well, the rain has lightened up, and hopefully the Reds' bats will lighten up a little bit. Only 3 hits on the day.
1-2 pitch. Base hit left field. So the tying run will come to the plate in the form of Joey Votto.
Man, oh man, you couldn't ask for a better setup than that. A good at bat by Edgar Renteria. Line drive off the glove of Jason Bartlett. But remember the previous pitch, or the previous strike. When he lost his bat, it slid out towards the pitcher's mound, and he barely fouled the ball off just to keep the at-bat alive. You get a good pitch you can hit, you keep the rally going, and here comes the MVP with the tying run at the plate.
Votto has reached every time up. 2 walks and a single. Continues to lead the league with average runners in scoring position, a .424 average. 7 home runs, 54 RBI. And 2 sitting out there right now. The pitch. Outside.
You know, when the rain comes down in a ball game like this, I've always thought that the advantage lies with the pitcher. Until the pitcher's mound gets kind of wet and saturated, and your front foot slides a little bit, thereby, you know, maybe taking your aim off a little. Tough to concentrate when you're a hitter with water dripping off the bill of your cap.
Fly ball.
Did he?
Center field. He just missed it. And I mean just missed it.
Well, he hit it pretty good. A high fastball right there. Gregerson challenges at the upper part of the zone, and Joey Votto nearly hits one out of here right at the warning track. Cameron Maben hauls it in.
Thought he had it. So 2 down and Brandon Phillips. Votto's the type of guy that he'll be thinking about that till they play again. That pitch. Now the sun is out. 2 down, 2 on.
Gregerson's got kind of a low 3/4 delivery. That fastball really runs in on a right-hander. Brandon Phillips likes the ball down and in. You chart where his home run pitches are. The majority of those are on the inner third, down around knee to thigh high. Leave one there. We got a tie Wago.
A tie Wago?
Well, it's Spanish for game. I'll occasionally use that.
Took about 4 years of Spanish through high school and college. Obviously, I did not listen. Phillips ahead in the count, 2-0. He represents the tying run. 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss.
Well, don't worry about it, Jim. I didn't listen in high school Spanish either. It took me a couple of years of winter ball to finally figure out how to order a beer and light up an umpire.
Did you ever get run? Ejected? No?
No. Not since I was 12.
Got ejected when you were 12?
Yeah, that's a long story for another day.
Oh. 2-1 pitch.
Well, you got the count right here, 3-1. Brandon Phillips looking into the dugout. Dusty Baker motioning, make him get the ball up.
So those that are still here, 35,286. Tried to cheer on Brandon Phillips. It's down by 3 in the 8th. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. And the pitch. swing and a miss. And we're full.
Got it in the spot he wanted it to. Brandon Phillips looked like he just pulled off of it a little bit. Watch that front shoulder as he makes a swing right here. He just really pulls off of it and doesn't keep his head down. That is normally a spot that he puts a pretty good charge into a ball.
3-2, 2 outs. The runners will be in motion. Fly ball, center field. The Reds leave 2. Down by 3. Of the game. Orlando Hudson into the right field corner. An RBI triple. That one in the 7th. It made the score 5-3. Part of a 6-3 lead for San Diego. Haven't seen him this series, Chris, but Aroldis Chapman into the game.
Well, he's in the game now. The Reds are down by 2 and we're down by 3, and he comes in for the 38th time.
A little unusual. He's rested. We haven't seen him in this series. And with an off day tomorrow, you would figure you might bring him in and let him work the 7th or 8th inning. Reds needed to keep it close. They gave up a run in the 7th. A run in the 8th.
Well, he's been by far the Reds' best short reliever. Over the last couple of weeks, he's just been about as dominating as you can be.
He's working against Cameron Maybin, top of the order for San Diego. Chapman hasn't allowed a run in any of his last 12 appearances and retired 37 of the last 42 batters he has faced. That is getting it done.
Of course, these Padres, remember last year when Aroldis Chapman went out there to Petco Park and lit up the scoreboard radar gun to 105 miles an hour. To date, the fastest ever recorded pitch.
Has recorded at least a strikeout in each of his last 12 appearances as well. 100 on the stadium gun right there. Fouled back. 99 mile per hour gas. A 1.21 ERA in his last 21 appearances. And has not walked as many batters. He's been very good. Diving stop by Phillips. Throw is offline, though. Brandon's been a little off today.
Well, that's
a tough
incredible play just to be able to knock it down. I mean, 80% of the second basemen out there don't even get to this ball.
Now, when
and to be able to right yourself and throw to first base, Maben is a burner down the line. Have to be right there anyway. Would have been bang bang. But Brandon, a good effort again. Almost made the highlight reel. When I say he's off, it's relative. We are so used to him making those plays look so easy. And he's made that play countless times from his knees. So, in fairness to Brandon, it's relative when you're speaking of the reigning Gold Glove. Well, that's the kind of play, though, he prides himself on making. I know what you mean.
You're right. A lot of guys wouldn't even have gotten to that ball, nor been able to make the throw. Close play. Chapman's got one of the best pickoff moves in the league.
He does. You know, he's long and lanky. He lifts his right leg up, but he doesn't cross that plane where he goes over the pitcher's rubber. So when he gets his leg up there, he can go over to first base at any time.
Runner going. Tough throw for Hernandez to try to throw out the runner.
Well, the way to steal off of Chapman, and this is what Maben did right here. He was just gambling that Chapman was not going to throw over there twice in a row. So what you do is you just go on the first move. You don't wait to determine whether he's going to first or going to home. First time he makes a move at all, you take off and you hope that he doesn't pick you off. A lot of times, if you're fast enough and get a big enough lead, if you take off on that first move, then you put the pressure on the first baseman and try to throw you out as the shortstop covers. And as you run towards second base, you run a little bit in that throwing lane and make it very difficult for a right-handed throwing baseman like Votto to do it. But stolen base successful there, and the Padres are trying to add one more.
Second stolen base of the day. 145th stolen base of the season, as the Padres continue to lead the majors. Bartlett squares the bunt, fouls it back. One and one to the count of Jason Bartlett. Padres trying to leave town with a salvage of one game in this series. They will fly back to San Diego after this one and will welcome in the New York Mets, who they just saw in New York City. 1-1 pitch. Gets away. Hernandez still doesn't know where it is. And on to third base goes Cameron Maben. That's the third wild pitch of the day for Reds pitchers. Dontrelle Willis had 2 of them. Or excuse me, Sam LeCure. No, that's right. Dontrelle Willis had 2 of them. One of them that Willis had allowed a run to score. Ground ball past the glove of Edgar Renteria, and some add-on by the Padres. It's 7-3.
Jason Bartlett's had a pretty good day at the plate. A couple of hits. Bangs this ball on a 96-mile-an-hour fastball up around his letters, right in that 5.5 hole right here. Edgar can't get to it. And the Padres now have scored in each of the last 3 innings.
Here's Orlando Hudson. He's had a good day. Singled in the 3rd, scored a run, RBI triple in the 7th. Still nobody out. The 1-0 pitch inside. So the Reds are going to need a boatload in the bottom half of the inning. They want to win their 5th straight. They're hoping to climb within 1 game of 500. But in my mind, the ship's still pointing in the right direction for this club. I know no one wants to hear this. Now, last year was terrific, winning the National League Central, part of the bonus plan. But to me, this team is built to win in 2012 and 2013. Would you agree with that?
Well, I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think that the fact that they've got these young players signed up for several years, you know, they control Bruce and Votto for several years. They've got an option on Brandon Phillips next year. They've got youngsters coming up out of the farm system. Of course, they've tied up Joey Votto. They've got Johnny Cueto. They've got Bronson Arroyo under a long-term deal. They hopefully will get a healthy Scott Rowland back at the beginning of spring training. Same for Zach Cozart. Minor leagues still are chock full of players that are right there at the major league level. But I think all those guys in the dugout, including those in the managerial seat and a general manager seat, are still thinking about this year. I mean, it may be like rolling a rock uphill. But it's not over yet.
Cairo makes the out.
And that's why this game in particular is so frustrating. Because on paper, and you know, it just looked like the Reds had a distinct advantage, despite the fact that the Padres have played very well in the 3rd game of a 3-game series. You like the matchup? Dontrelle Willis had thrown the ball extremely well for the Reds in 5 of his 6 starts. He had quality starts. The way that the Reds were swinging the bat against left-handers, you thought they had a pretty good chance against Wade LeBlanc. LeBlanc threw a great game, mixing in a lot of breaking balls that had them off their stride.
That is a foul ball, says C.B. Butler.
I think the disappointing thing, at least to me in this ball game, is the fact that the bullpen has given up 3 runs, 1 in each inning, 7, 8, and 9. So you go from a 1-run deficit to a 4-run deficit, and it's awfully tough when you've got the back end of a bullpen as good as the Padres have.
Got to have that bullpen. In fact, one of my favorite signs in Dusty Baker's office reads, "The most important things in life are good friends and a good bullpen." Spoken like a manager. Outside. Lefty Travis Wood is up in the Reds pen. Worked the 9th last night. That 13-1 blowout. One-two pitch. Deep drive, but foul. You just missed that. Another terrific catch. And gives it to, I assume, his son. Pretty play. He's like,
son, that's why you bring a glove to a
Check it
ball
out,
game
see,
right there. What a great shot.
Him elbow him there. How about Dad? How about Dad, huh? Blanks goes down swinging. Second out of the inning. Aaron Cunningham. 0 for 2. 2 outs, runner on second. Outside. In there, strike 2. Fifth pitch of the inning, about to be hurled by Aroldis Chapman. Way outside. 2-2. And the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Chapman gets out, but the Pods get another. Reds need 4 to tie. Complete highlights, full interviews. We'll hear from the stars, and you'll hear from the manager before anyone else. That's Reds Live Postgame, brought to you by Kings Honda in the Kings Auto Mall. Visit KingsHondaUSA.com. My favorite moment from the All-Star game. Heath Bell chugging in from the bullpen. Slide and safe. That guy's a character.
He is. How about the look that Bruce Bochy gives him on his way in? I'm sure he got strict instructions right here at Great American Ballpark from Doug Gallant, the head of the grounds crew.
Check him out.
You can do that in the All-Star game in Arizona, but don't do it here in our ballpark.
Camera operator trying to keep up with him. They had a few shots on Fox that night, and the infielders are holding their glove over their mouth, trying not to laugh at that. As Bell makes his first appearance of the series.
Fourth in the league in saves. He is fourth also in the league in save percentage at 91.4. So in other words, when he gets the ball and you give him a 3-run lead, he's going to shut the door. Right now he has a 4-run lead, a non-save situation, but he's in there just to get some work.
Padres just came from New York City on Wednesday. Bell and 3 of his teammates visited a firehouse. Of course, we're coming up on the 10-year anniversary of tragic events on September 11th. And he visited the firehouse where a lot of firefighters were fallen on that day. And they put him in full fire suits, gave him the whole run through. And they have a hazing thing that they do, where they basically stand you out there and water you down. Bruce goes down on strikes.
Blue Bayou. Well, he may have been watered down by the fire department in New York, but he just waters down Jay Bruce right there with heat on the outside part of the plate. You know, if you watch Heath Bell's delivery, you see that for a big guy, 6 feet 3 inches tall, he's got a relatively short stride and throws a lot with his upper body.
Drew Stubbs, strike 1. They didn't actually hose him down. It's a hazing thing where they stand him out, and on the roof they dump buckets of water on their heads to kind of break them in. And I guess Bell has befriended a lot of those firefighters in New York City and has really lifted their spirits. Of course, everyone thought he was going to be traded at the trade deadline. They didn't move him. Padres can still trade him, but he's got to go through the waiver process, and I'm not sure if that would happen. And who knows if they'll be able to re-sign him. Strike. He has said publicly that he would take a discount deal to stay in San Diego, fair market value. But once you get to the offseason and teams start wheeling out that money, we'll see what happens.
Well, he's a California guy anyway. Born in Oceanside, went to college at Rancho Santiago. I mean, at some point you have to figure that the lifestyle that you get, the comfort that you get with a team that you know is worth a certain amount of money.
Fly ball center field. Maben tracks it down, and the Reds are down to their last out. Your producer today has been Christian Roberts, director Brian Hunterman, associate producers Matt Sigafus, dialing up the video, all those videos that he pulls out. Lauren White down there, Jesse Jackson in the booth taking care of it. Strick up here. Got my man Joe Luckett on stats. It's been my pleasure to sit here for 3 days, and thanks to the crew for helping me out.
Well, you've done a nice job, Jim Day. All the feedback that I get, I'm not on Twitter, but I have a phone that I get some messages on, and everybody's been very positive about Jim Day. Good job, except for today.
I was 2-0. Fly ball right field, this should do it. At the track, Venable grabs it, and the Padres salvage one out of this 3-game set. 7-3 victors. So, Chris, the Reds were riding a 4-game winning streak, fall short of 5, and a 4-3 7-game homestand.
Well, you know, you've got to tip your hat to the Padre pitchers today. Wade LeBlanc did a nice job in his 6 innings. I mean, after all, the Reds only collected 4 hits. They left 4 runners on base, but they scored 3 runs on that one blast by Jay Bruce after a couple of walks. And other than that, their offense was really non-existent. So for a big crowd that came out on Sunday, some of them bringing the brooms, hoping to see a Reds sweep. That did not happen. After an off day tomorrow, the Reds will head on over to Washington and take on the Nats. Johnny Gomes and the Washington Nationals coming up this week.
It's a 3-city trip, off day / travel day tomorrow. 3 in Washington, 3 in Pittsburgh, off day in Florida, and 3 against the Marlins. So the Reds, one of their bugaboos has been road baseball. Time to turn up the wick. 7-3 is your final. Jeff Piccolo standing by for Reds Live.